Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Interior Wellness Show. I am your host, Elizabeth, and I am so excited to have a guest on today. You're going to learn so much from her. She's personally been very inspiring to me over the past few years. She lives in the Himalayas. She teaches meditation and yoga, and her name is Padma. Some of you may know her. So welcome, Padma. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So our viewers are going to want to know a little bit more about you, and so am I. I'm so excited about your life. It's so inspiring. Currently, you are living in the Himalayas, and you are a meditation teacher. Tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you come to be where you are now?
And it's about 12 hours ahead of you there in British Columbia. And I live here about 9 months a year now. I have my own place here, beautiful Padma River up in the Western Himalayas. And it's a beautiful meditation retreat place. I discovered this place about 27 years ago. I was traveling in India, and through connection of friends, just happened upon an amazing living here for many, many years, and just immersing myself in the study, meditation, the Yoga Sutras and the Gita, script texts, and just meditating a lot for many years with my teacher's guidance. Journey. I never did this to become a teacher. Actually, it was just my own. Then when I returned to Canada, then I was actually asked by yoga teachers to teach them the meditation and yoga philosophy. And so for the last 16 years, I've been doing that as well. And now I've moved back mainly to the Himalayas for some years now. And I go back and forth between Canada and India. Here, first in my own continuing meditation, and then when I come back to Canada, I host retreats and workshops.
So that's a wonderful way that people can connect with a teacher who's directly connected to India, is that you come back to Canada. I used to have, and may have even followed you. Where did that take place, and what was that like?
To have a witch follow me? I'm sorry, the internet just cut out a second.
That's okay. We're in between India and Canada, so we're lucky that we can be having this conversation. I was wondering about that you have followers in Canada that may know you from your TV show, and just what's that like to have done a show for people and connected with people who were potentially watching you?
Oh, it's really amazing. It was a kind of miraculous thing that I was asked to host this yoga show. The first one I did was 3, and that we did 65 episodes. It ran for 10 years, and then I did another 75 episodes, and that was the Padma Yoga, and that's been running for now the last 6 years across Canada. And it's at first I didn't actually know if it would work to teach yoga and meditation on television like that. It was a little bit before internet and everything, so I wasn't quite sure of it. Did seem to connect and respond, and loved it. I got so much great feedback. And then when I would host workshops across Canada, students would show up, and they'd already been following my series, and they'd already done yoga with me and done meditation with me, and they felt like they knew me already very well. And so it was just a joy always to meet people who were felt they knew me already, and I could meet them back at these retreats and workshops. So it's been delightful like that. That wherever I go, I meet people who are so appreciative and so sweet and so connected and thankful just for the view and self-awareness that does somehow get transmitted through modern online media. And so I've been very surprised myself that it works. Like this conversation, even online, it's miraculous how wherever people are on any place on the whole planet at any time zone, when we connect, there's that immediacy, there's that knowing immediacy that we all connect to, and we all know that familiarity. And then when you do get a chance to meet people in person, that familiarity is already there. So it's lovely.
It is nice. The internet is a miracle when we use it for all the good things that it can be used for. I was thinking about what you said about people connecting with you as a teacher, and you didn't intend to be a teacher, and you yourself have teachers. So how important is it for a person to connect with teachers and be continually learning?
Well, for me, I have one main teacher, and it's true that you always encounter different teachers and meet them and connect with them. And but for myself, I believe it's important to have one connected teacher who resonates with you, that speaks to your heart, and you can just settle in that. So it's not a constant shopping around for the next fad, you know. So it's important to find that person who you truly trust and believe they're qualified to guide you. And I've found that in when I teach my students right across Canada and the States, I very often am told by them that they have that same connection with me. And I believe that really is personal. And also the mind is so tricky and complex that it can so easily derail you or send you into some kind of imagination about any of the topics. And so to have a guide who's kind of ahead of you on the path and can look back and say, no, please stay on this way. Don't go straying off there or there. Keep walking in this way. It's the most direct path for you. It's the most sure way to go. Just because of that teacher's experience. For me, and I find that when I guide my students, it's to them directly, and there's less roundabout and confusion. So it's really for the student to just decide for some time, I'm going to listen to this person and see where they take me. And if it's where I want to go, I'm going to follow that for me as long as I choose to.
So true. It's what our minds do, especially in the Western culture with meditation, yoga, spirituality. It seems like there's something new out every other day, and we could really get wrapped up in chasing the next new thing. But there's a peacefulness in just sticking with one teacher. And I love what you were saying about what the mind does. I'd love for you to talk more about how our mind leads us astray and how we can bring it back. What can we do? What tools can we use?
Well, firstly is, that's a great question, that awareness of the mind, that it does that. I mean, that's almost the most important thing, is to recognize that your mind is infinitely creative and imaginative and wonderful. And in that creativity, it can lead you off into any thinking at any time. Just the nature of the mind to be old. And so once you understand that, when you see that, it's not a matter of trying to control the mind and force it to go somewhere, but rather just to understand the mind is always going to be creative. And that you yourself don't have to follow every single thought that comes into your mind. When we do that, when humans regularly do that, then that constantly following the next thought, either that you have or that somebody else puts into your head. Someone says, no, come over here and do this kind of practice. And so you follow that and then follow that. So you're constantly following the mind. But when you become aware, oh, the mind is never going to stop doing that, then you can stop and say, you know what, I don't need to follow all these different waves of suggestions, what to do, what to think, where to go. And that, I believe, is where it comes back to the importance of a teacher. Because the teacher is that one who's established in that peace, in that self-awareness. And if what you seek is peace and self-awareness, and this to learn from someone who has that established and to stay and follow those teachings and see the result for yourself, do the experiment, rather than to something else. What I've noticed is that people like this, it's a kind of energy which is very much like air. It just skips around, constantly changing, and never goes deep, never settles, never becomes deeply balanced, and to stop and just be still and spend some quality time with a teacher who can cultivate us and awareness.
I can feel that that's needed in my own self, and I bet I'm not the only one watching this that has that. The more I'm aware of my mind, the more I realize, like you were saying, it's crazy. It just is constantly making up crazy stories and leading me astray from what's just present and right now. So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, this is really the kind of the wisdom of the wisdom lineages, the wisdom tradition, guide that kind of example of stability and awareness, and can see how the student is jumping around, following the world. The teacher can and be in stillness and that student, if they want, if they ask, the teacher can guide that student toward a true state of also.
So true. And you wrote an article that's in the recent issue of Interior Wellness magazine, and it has to do with freedom. So how do we relate that word freedom? When you speak about freedom, how does it relate to what we're talking about right now?
Yoga means freedom. Freedom is really a space when you find yourself and you find that perfect state of awareness and self, and we can just sit in that perfect being, to any external input support that freedom. But simply just by sitting and being yourself, knowing yourself, you realize you're completely free.
Freedom is not in any external pursuits, and we need this. We need to connect with teachers such as yourself or any other, and to go deep, to stick with one thing. Now you have
Yeah.
a really special program that is actually online where people can connect with you. Can you tell us about that? I'm excited about it.
Well, thanks, Elizabeth. I'm happy to. I developed this program here in the Himalayas and videoed some, and it's an online 6-week meditation course. And I was sure work, it's a new thing, a new creation. And so, and I've had incredible feedback. And people are just so happy to have some clear guidance on meditation, on the philosophy, on the skills, and how that really in our lives. So this course I've called Finding Freedom. And it's just a very clear step-by-step program to take you through practice, video, and online connections. It's a great program, and I'm very happy with it. So thank you. The next course starts in September.
Wonderful. Online courses are so amazing that people from all over the world can be connecting with you, and they can just be at home. They can do it whenever it works for their schedule. Now, how do you find that your students are able to
They have
connect?
access to able to connect with me?
Mm-hmm.
So easy. They can listen to the video audios, they read the manuals, they connect online like we're doing right now. And I have a Facebook group page, so there's a lot of connection amongst students as support.
That's so nice. And students connecting with students, that is what makes the difference too, is having a community around you. If you're committed to a meditation practice and learning and going deeper with a teacher, having community around you makes a huge difference. Can you speak to that a little bit? Like, what has community meant to you in your learning?
Well, I really do believe that it's difficult for individuals to continue over a long time just on your own. With no teacher, you're almost bound to go astray. And with no kind of fellow support meditators, friends, you just start feeling lonely a little bit. So I find that community is like an energetic support. And when you meditate, other friends are meditating at the same time or in the same way. And powerful to know you're in a group of people with a common attention.
It's so true, and it's so wonderful to do. And also meeting people live is important. And I'm also very excited about this. You are a teacher at Hollyhock, which is a wonderful retreat center. Can you tell us about that program that's coming up, and how if people in Canada want to find you live when you're not special time, that they can connect with you live?
I think we'll be returning every summer. I'm going to be returning to Canada and offer some workshops and retreats. And this year I decided to host my meditation retreat at Hollyhock Retreat Center on a beautiful Cortes Island in British Columbia. And it's a great retreat center, and they're so kind, and they're just hosting beautifully, taking care of everything, and fabulous kitchen, and it's just going to be great to be by the ocean side and 4 days ourselves in meditation and meditation philosophy and yoga sutras and gentle yoga as well, Hatha yoga, some breath work, some chanting. I'm going to bring in so many of the practices that I've been doing myself here in the Himalayas. So I'm bringing a piece of that, calling shop, and be a part of a real full-time yogi lifestyle brought to Hollyhock there. It would be great to actually connect with a lot of my students who vision or have met them live. It's nice to give a chance to get together in person. As you say, there's that real life human connection that I'm looking forward to.
It's so true. And I'm going to put the links for all of this down below this video. So if you're watching this, I'm going to make sure that all the information so that you can connect with Padma is down below. So you can check out her 6-week online course and her retreats and workshops and at Hollyhock. And I was just thinking, what a beautiful journey it would be to do this 6-week online course. And then somewhere in the midst of that, also join a live community. I want to do that. It seems just wonderful.
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing you very soon sometime, Elizabeth. It's I love what you do as well with your interior wellness. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic work you do for everyone involved in yoga and meditation in Canada.
Oh, thank you so much. That's one of my biggest passions, is bringing people together and getting information to everybody who needs it. So I really appreciate you joining me on this and taking the time. So let's move forward a little bit with, maybe you can share something with our audience and with me. I know that I'll love it too, that something that you can give to us, maybe a meditation or and also some words of wisdom that you can leave us with, like what's your advice for us moving forward to just be working with our mind, working towards freedom, and then give us some kind of a lesson or a meditation.
Okay, I will get into meditation just now. The best way to go towards freedom is actually to meditate, and so if everyone's willing, we could just take 1 minute right now and sit together, still the same ever-present moment. So let's just sit comfortably and close the eyes. Just let your eyes softly close and breathe in and breathe out. And feel that gentle rise and fall of your own breath. Ocean-like waves of breath come and go. Let your body completely relax. You don't need to make physical effort. You don't need to make any effort with your breath. Just let inhale come, the exhale go. And keeping your notice now, there's a pure space presence back right now. You know that you are existing. You know that you're knowing. You know that with eyes closed, you don't need to have any name or form or is. Just you is present, pure space of just you, undeniable. It's not. It's I don't know right now. So that presence, that knowing, pure, without name, without form. That you, that pure you is always present. Minutes a day, you remember. So you can just gently open your eyes and just know that that space of pure you stays with you, whether your eyes are closed or your eyes are open. It's delightful to connect with you today.
Thank you so much. I am just going to have the most wonderful rest of my day. That meditation was wonderful. So good to connect in, and magical to connect across the planet. It shows that people can do this anytime. So thank you so much. That was really special.
That was really special. Lovely.
So thank you, Padma. We are so lucky to have you. Any final words for our audience?
Just stay connected with each other and stay connected through the community, and stay connected to yourself in your own meditation, and stay connected with a teacher, maybe me, or someone who truly guides you towards finding your own freedom.
Thank you. Find your freedom, everyone. Look for it and connect with Padma. We will put all the information down below. I appreciate you joining us here today. And if you loved this video, click the little like button, but more importantly, share it with somebody who you also think might benefit from the wisdom and teachings that Padma shared with us today. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.